Hey guys, what's up? Me, 4Strings Animation here, and today I'm going to be teaching you something very fun. This is a rigid body simulation, and it's basically just where a ball drops on a lot of blocks and explodes it. It's going to be really fun to make. I make this all the time, and this is what it looks like in the end. It's a super easy process. I think anyone can do it. And I hope you have a lot of fun making it. So let's dive right into it. So we are going to be starting with a cube. So Shift A and add a cube to our scene. So your scene is going to be the default scene with probably a camera, a light source, and a cube. What you could do is you could press A, delete, or A to select everything, X, and delete. Like, so if I just add a bunch of stuff to the scene, right, I can just say A to select everything, X, and then it'll say delete. So you just click that, and everything's gone. So you're gonna add a cube. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into side view, right? So you can use this right here. You can click on the X right here, or the red. So if you click on this, you'll go into side view. Or you could go to view, viewpoint, and all of this. So I just suggest using that though, it's faster. Then you're going to press Z to move it on the Z. And you're going to move it up so it's just above that y-axis line, the green one right here. So next what we're going to do is we're going to press Shift A, and then we're going to add a plane. So the plane is going to be the base of our simulation. So we're going to want to make this pretty big. And then we're going to take the cube and we're just going to scale it down, right? So about that size, and then we're going to go back to side view, move it back to the place that it should have been, right there. Perfect. Now we're going to use some modifiers. Just before we go into that, remember, add cube, add the plane, scale it to the right size, and then put it back. So this is what your scene should look like so far. Now you're going to add a modifier, so click on that little wrench area right there, and then you're going to go to click modifier and array right under generate above bevel. I should say array. You're going to click on that, and then you're going to do that again, and then you're going to do it again, so you have 3 arrays. Okay, so now for the first one, we're going to take the X. So this is which direction the array is going to be going in. So an array is just duplicating the model a certain amount of times. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the X and we're just going to space it out a little bit. So the X is going to be at like 1.1 up. That's weird. 1 second. 1.1. Oh wait, I'm typing the wrong letter. 1.1. So that's the spacing for that one. Okay, so we're done with this. We don't need to do anything. Now we're going to go down to the second one, and now we don't want the second one to be on the X, we want it to be on the Y. So we're going to delete everything in factor X, and we're going to go to factor Y, and we're going to go 1.1. so that's how what's it called, that's the spacing between, just like X. So now we have something on the Y-axis as well. And then the third one, to make it a cube of cubes, we're going to go down, and then we're going to delete the X, and then go on to Z to go up, and we're going to go 1.1, like all of the others. So now we have a cube of cubes. It's fun to say, cube of cubes. So I found that just 6 looked good. You could add more, you could add less. Oops. So where it goes to count on array, go to the first one, third one, whatever, and go use count and press these arrows until you're at 6 or whatever number you want. The higher it is, the more laggy it's going to be. So I think that 6 on all of them is good. So just go onto every single one and click the arrow to get to number 6. So this is what our scene should look like now. Now what we have to do is we have to apply all of these modifiers to make this just a bunch of cubes. So a really good way to do this is to press Control A, hovering over something. But so what that's doing is it's applying it. Another way to do it is you click this little arrow right here, and then you press Apply, just like that. Okay. So I'll just use the Command A feature or Control A. So now it's one object, but if we go into edit mode, it's a bunch of cubes. So now what we're gonna do to make every single cube its own separate object is we're not gonna click on anything, or we could, and then we just press A to select everything. So make sure everything is selected, and then press P for separate. Pretty sure you can go to select, and one of these, there's something like that, but I just know that if you press P, A, to select everything, P for separate, and then you're going to go to by loose parts. So every one of these is going to be a new cube. So if you see in this menu, we now have 215 cubes in the scene. So now we can press tab to go back out of edit mode, and now don't click anything. Okay? Now you're just going to go to this, don't click any of the items on the scene, because without that you're going to have to make sure you click the 215 cubes again. So I'm going to teach you a really fun thing to do that makes this much easier to make the rigid body simulation go faster. So if you go to physics, right, we have to turn the cubes into a rigid body, right? Now you're going to press rigid body right here, and then you don't have to do anything else for that. Now that's just for this yellow cube right here. Now we want all of these to have that simulation. So we're going to go to Object, and then we're going to go to Rigid Body, right under Animation, above Quick Effects, and go to Copy from Active. Now the active cube is that yellow one. Just waiting for it. What it's going to do is all of the rigid body thing, the whole rigid body thing that we did for this yellow cube is going to be done for everything else. Now we just need to wait for it to load. Okay, there we go. Now, all of these cubes are rigid bodies. Now, if we click on this plane, we have to make the plane the base, right? We have to make it what these cubes fall onto so that they're supported. Now, if we go to rigid body, and then passive is going to make it so that it just stays in one spot, but it interacts with these. So, if we just play, it's going to do that with all the cubes, okay? And we don't want it to do that because that means they're all waving around. And the reason it's going to do that is because the one origin point for all of these cubes is right in the center. So what we're going to do is we're going to select all of these cubes, and we're just going to go Object, Set Origin, Origin to Geometry. Okay, one second, not that. We have to click one of the cubes, select all of the cubes, right? Object, Set Origin, Origin to Geometry. Don't know why that's happening, that's weird. One second. Object, Set Origin. Oh, that's what I did. So we have to do origin to geometry, not geometry to origin. I was clicking this first one. You want to click the second one. Now, once you've done that, you'll see that there's a bunch of different dots in these cubes, okay? And that's the origin, that's the center of mass for each individual cube. So now, what's going to happen is if we play it, all of them are going to be their own individual object, doing their own individual thing. So now we have a simulation. It's a little bit laggy because it just has to load the simulation. Right, a few are going to fall off, but that's fine. But once you play it again, it's going to be much smoother. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the ball that just crushes it all. So we're going to do Shift-A, add a UV sphere, and then we're going to move this up on the Z. Okay, so G, Z. To make it go a little bit faster, you can use like a cube or an icosphere or something with a lower poly. And if you just want to have fun, you can use a monkey. So I'm just gonna use a icosphere, and so we're just gonna move it up, move it on the Y so it's right above the center, so right near the center of the cube of cubes. So right there. So this is what your scene should look like. It should be above this, kind of high up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make this one a rigid body as well. So make sure it's selected and press rigid body. Now, this way that this, the way to make this so that it interacts and makes all of them just explode everywhere is we're going to have to make it heavier. Because if we do this right now, sorry, it's a little laggy, it's just going to like bounce off of the blocks because it's the same weight. Just like that. So now what we need to do is we're just going to make this really heavy. We're going to make it like 100 kilograms, which is very heavy. So now, if we just wait for it to load, it will smash these easily, like cutting through butter. So if we watch it, this might be a little bit faster this time. Boom. Just like that. If we want to watch this a little closer up, this is what it'll look like. Really satisfying. This is super fun to make. Whenever I'm just bored and I don't know what I wanted to make on Blender, I would always make this because it's super fun. Another thing you can do, I'm not going to explain textures in this tutorial, but something you can do just to make it look a little better is you can go under this, you can click on this arrow right here, right near the shading thing, and press matte cap, and then press random colors for everything, and then press cavity and shadow. You don't have to do shadow, it looks good. It makes it a little bit laggy. All of this makes it a little bit laggy, but it makes it look really nice. So cavity makes it so you can see all of the edges better. So that's what it looks like. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you use this, maybe show it off to your friends. And I will see you in the next tutorial. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment on what you think I should do next. I'm out.